Karamoja has previously been viewed as an underdeveloped peripheral region in Uganda, even though the country has achieved unprecedented socio-economic progress over the past decades. Despite numerous interventions, Karamoja has persistently remained the most underdeveloped region. According to the Human Development Index, 1 in every 2 people in Karamoja is poor, unlike the rest of Uganda.
If you come to Karamoja, where we've had a number of government interventions meant to uplift the region and improve service delivery and access to services by the rural communities, you find that corruption has still eaten. We've had various projects here, talk of NUSAF, talk of NADS, talk of the Youth Livelihood Fund, talk of other grants from the Office of the President, the Office of the Prime Minister, that come with good intentions, that come in good faith, but have been mismanaged.
The Karamoja Integrated Disarmament and Development Program is one of the many development projects in Karamoja meant to uplift its face. This development framework was specifically tailored to address the unique context and development challenges in the Karamoja region. The overall goal was to contribute to human security and promote conditions for recovery and development in Karamoja. This was a deliberate attempt to work towards sustainable peace, stability, and development, primarily focusing on reduction of the demand for guns through socio-cultural, economic, political, and institutional undertakings. Billions of shillings were sunk into this project. Despite all these endeavors, Karamoja's development still lags behind. There's, however, an explanation on why such projects have faced setbacks. For example, in 2017, the project designed for the financial year 2015-2016 under the Karamoja Integrated Development Program was meant to construct 5 dormitory blocks, 8 kitchens, 50 housing units for grinding mills, and distribute 10,000 iron sheets to selected schools across Karamoja. According to the Auditor General's report released in December 2016, only 2 dormitory blocks, 48 housing units for grinding mills, and 1 stance latrine at Lobalangit in Kacheri Primary School had been completed, despite the fact that 2.78 billion shillings of the entire project had been received. Development projects in Karamoja get stalled because unscrupulous public officials have continued to undermine the efforts to redress development issues by being engaged in corruption.
If you look at children who benefit from those projects, those are children of councillors and prominent leaders in the district. Those who are able to provide for those children. And yet again, we leave a common man. We leave an orphan. We leave a vulnerable family behind who could have helped develop their family and their clan at large.
Reports are very clear, but when you go to the actual outputs, they are never tangible. That informs you that the money has been corrupted. And we are wondering, could it be at the source or could it be at the implementation level?
In Napak right now, I know there are cases that have been already reported to police that the RDC has been handling of money that has been diverted for a road that doesn't exist. We are struggling with access. Our people can't access a hospital, can't access a school, can't access any service. And then you divert the money over a whole road.
The inadequacy of an active and concerted effort of civil society in issues of good governance, transparency and accountability, coupled with inadequate complaints feedback mechanisms between government and communities, has made monitoring of government programs even harder.
On paper, it shows that money has been allocated for development projects in Karamoja, but when you go on the ground, nothing is being done. So we find that the leaders there, the civil servants and leaders, have been using all sorts of tricks to steal from the people.
Karamoja corruption is still at a high stake in Karamoja. Therefore, we need an intervention towards ending this chronic device in Karamoja. For it has crippled the economic sector, it has crippled the transport sector, it has crippled the livelihoods of the people of Karamoja, it has crippled the development of Karamoja, it has crippled very many things in Karamoja.
The challenges leaders in Karamoja point out include development programs in the region being left to donor funding, hence denying communities a chance to develop programs with their own aspirations, demands, and their unique pastoral experiences at the center. This has eventually led to poor monitoring and supervision of these projects, and also unnecessary overlaps in programs and duplication of services, which strain the already scarce public funds badly needed in the region.
For the community to uphold accountability, to take charge. When government releases money for something, they should be able to supervise as a community and know that the money has done work or it hasn't done work. They should be able to raise that alarm well in advance before the money gets completely diverted or lost. It will help when the community doesn't just look on. Then it will help in the fight against corruption.
The best way and most sustainable way is to empower the people there to be able to demand. Because most of the civil society, even government funding, sometimes is not very sustainable. It's there for a short time. You come, you implement a project, even if it's 5 years, then you go away. So what happens? So the best strategy is to empower the people to be able to demand for themselves. And that's what we have been doing. We are seeing people being able to demand for roads, to demand for schools, to demand for better health care and better health services.
To strengthen community engagements as well as enhancing the participation of citizens in decision-making processes, implementation and monitoring of public resources and government programs earmarked for the Karamoja region, the Anti-Corruption Coalition Uganda, with support from the Irish Aid under the Strengthening Karamoja Anti-Corruption Coalition project, has trained community monitors in Moroto, Nabilatuk, Nakapiripit and Napak districts.
There has to be a strong civil society role. I think that's why even development partners have been looking more at civil society, being able to do that empowerment and the advocacy. But also the development partners have a very big role to play. I know they are putting in a lot of money with regard to the programs being done there in yourself, the Karamoja Integrated Development programs and the SAGE, the assistance grants, the social assistance grant for the elderly and youth livelihood. So the development partners have a role to play in terms of monitoring and holding the government to account and the people to account and civil society.
Moving forward, the most important thing is for us to continue engaging every stakeholder here, involving people in meaningful participation when it comes to service delivery.
The wish for the locals in Karamoja is to be in the driving seat while intervention projects are being designed.